Hello everyone, and today I got to see the movie Sttraight, Outta Comption, and this movie is basically a biographical pick on the rap group of N.W.A, which is Ice Cube, which is made up of three hip-hop artists of Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre. That's it. Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and you essentially get it. You get their names, and you know who they are in this movie. And in this movie, you get to see how they first formed in the and you get to see the career from the late 80s to early 90s, how they broke out and made their own music and made their own records, and how important and influential they were to the rap game. And as a whole, really did change the whole playing field and the whole scope of rap as we know it from today's modern musicians such as Drake and Eminem and others. And basically, these are essentially the first runners. These are essentially the conquistadors. Well, they're the ones who essentially led the trail. They're pretty much the Chris Columbus of rap. They're essentially the very first. They made the biggest move. They were very much like I said before, the Christopher Columbus of rap. And you got to see really, truly where they started and how they went along, all the ups and downs in their career, financially, and with their family, and fighting against oppression from the police and the law of so many certain things. That when you watch this movie, there's a lot of moments. Like, this is definitely due to the writing team because the writing is just so great. But there's a lot of moments where you just feel so much rage and like such a great buildup of anger because the characters are so relatable, they're so good, and they're so greatly portrayed. And the type of oppression they've gone through, just simply watching it is incredible. And I could really, there's some moments where I watch this movie, I would just be like, Christ, I'm like, I can't believe this movie. I think, of course, this stuff really has existed in the past and always will be existing. Okay, it doesn't really have to exist. It has. Let's try the best in our own cases to stop it. And to see it just happening to these characters who essentially were very important to the rap game is incredible to watch. It really is. And just, goddamn, this film really knows how to put you in their perspective. It really does know how to make you feel for these characters. Not only is the acting superb, like the person who plays Ice Cube is phenomenal, because that is actually the real Ice Cube's son playing Ice Cube in this movie, and that's a great symbol of essentially passing on the torch. Like, if that is passing the torch, then I know what is. It's just exceptional. The writing is excellent. All the other actors, like for Dr. Dre and Eazy-E, is really great. And there's a scene at the end, if you know about this band already, and then I will say the ending will leave you very teary. It's like, you really don't want to see these terrible things happen to these characters. And for especially watching it, and especially seeing what ultimately happened to Eazy-E, he got killed, which is very tragic, because seeing his character, because I will say Eazy-E's character in this movie, to me, was probably the most emotional to watch. But I think Ice Cube was much more of that thick-skinned, like, really tough-ass type of character. And I love his character. I always loved the very tough and stoic characters. I always have, and he was my favorite character because of that. And you also get to see Paul Giamatti in this movie as their executive producer, and while he was great, the way he looked was just so jarring. And he had, maybe because of his age, and he is an old actor. Like, he is, they give him complete, almost like white gray hair. I'm just like, it's very kind of distracting, but it could be his age. It's kind of like criticizing Anthony Hopkins and Red Dragon. Like, he is playing a great role, but God, his age is really shown in that role. It really, really is. It's really weird and kind of distracting, but he still gives a great performance. And the movie is incredibly well written and is incredibly well done. The first hour, solid, super solid. I thought it was some of the most engaging material I've seen. Some of the most intriguing and fascinating look in the rap group, and it's one of the best. It's one of the more standout movies of this year, I would definitely will say, because of its such clever writing and clever structure for it. Even though this movie is long, it drags a bit at times, but seeing their lives and seeing the way they just lived it and seeing it just happen is endlessly fascinating. And I've always loved me some great rap. And seriously, just seeing this how this all ultimately unfolded makes me appreciate their art even more and respect it more. It's just great. I will say there's two big drawbacks to this film, and because this film is not perfect. Number one is that the last hour and a half, while good, does not hold up to the first hour. It's like the same thing with The Place Beyond the Pines. If you haven't seen that film, with that film is that you can divide in the movie The Place Beyond the Pines into three main stories. First one about Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling, second one about Bradley Cooper, third part about the children. It's like the third part is good, but it just doesn't hold up to the first two parts. And you end up watching those first two parts more than the last third part. So if I have a feeling if I got this movie on DVD, I would watch like the first hour and I'd be like, perfect, that's it. Then again, I feel like if I watched it more, it becomes a bit more depressing, but that's just the sad reality of it. And I decided to set the movie as a whole. But it's like I said before, it's like the last hour and a half isn't bad. It's really good, if anything, but it just doesn't hold up to what happened in that first hour. That was just so freaking solid. Like, it really was. Not like everything I thought was almost perfect in that first hour. It's like judging off that first hour, then I would say this is like one of the top 5 best movies of the year so far. And that's seriously how they're saying something. But it's like the second half of this movie kind of pulls it down as it goes kind of it does kind of turn into a traditional movie structure, which is fine because it is essentially a movie, and I can help for criticizing that. And the other thing is that this movie, while in highly engaging, it is long as fuck. For a rap historical biographical piece, this movie is 2.5 hours. For fuck's sake, 2.5 hours. It's like, dear God, man, it's like, holy crap. Like, granted, I won't say it's like I can see parts where you could cut that out. It's like I can see why it is that long, and I'm happy it is that long to some degree. But it's like, it doesn't need it. I do question the movie, like, do you need to be this long? Do you need to have 2.5 fucking hours? It's like, that's a really long time. And certain points, like near the end, I was kind of like readjusting myself. I was kind of like, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of bored now. I'll eat my popcorn, I'll go take a washing break. It's like, there will be some low points, and the film is not consistent with certain aspects at times. I will say with the consistency of engagement with the characters. You see in their situations, like in the music, the oppression, their families, financially. It's like there's some parts like financially, you do see like with Ice Cube's character and Dr. Dre's character, they're just struggling within finances essentially. And honestly, there's a couple points in this movie where I couldn't give the barest of a fuck. And honestly said, there's a couple more times I was rather bored. And that sucks to say, because this movie was really great to watch at times. It was fantastic acting, incredible writing, great scripting. Within cleanups here and there, this could have been one of the top 2 best movies of the year. But the problems with this movie do kind of drag it down. But in the end, Outta Comption is definitely one of the most interesting and underrated films of the year so far. And I will say, Outta Comption in the end for me gets the final rating of an 84%. That's my final rating for this movie, an 84%. I really enjoyed it a lot, everyone. If you enjoyed my review for it, I'm sorry if you heard the noise from outside. It's just a family member cutting along. I'm sorry for that. But in the end, that's my rating for this movie, and that's my review. Everyone, I really hope you enjoyed it, and stick around for always to see more videos at my channel here, and you can click down below to subscribe. As always, everyone, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the future for more videos as always. Till then, I'm out. Bye.